All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our deciding game number 3. It's Team Rattlesnake versus LGD International, a crucial game for both teams, as all these group stage games are, but especially for LGD. They took game 1 in convincing fashion. They did it with a Lifestealer Lone Druid combo, one of the strongest combos in the Chinese scene, but the Lifestealer banned in game 2 and banned here again in game 3. So LGD, they'll have to turn to something different. They continue with their Clockwork ban. LGD 0-1 in the Group A right now, so if they lose this game, they're 0-2, which means they have to win their third game to have even a shot at advancing. If you are 4th place in your group, you go home. If you're 2nd or 3rd, you will be fighting it out to see if you'll be advancing as one of those top 4 teams to the G1 League Land Finals. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Luminous, and Lumi, 1-1, the score now, all tied up in the series. It's basically a best of 1 at this point. You said your money's on Rattlesnake, and the draft, well, it's looking the same as what we saw in game 2.
Yeah, and LGD, again, they're a team that does the same thing every single time. And to be honest, when they get the Lone Druid as well as the Lifestealer combo, they look unbeatable. When they don't get it, well, they're very, very human. LGD will be banning out the Magnus, who actually had a big game last time. But Nyx Assassin going to be the opening pick, something that we haven't seen too often out of LGD, mostly because the heroes always banned out.
They actually banned the Mag here, so they denied that to Rattlesnake, something that they used to effectiveness in game number 2. And even in game 1, I think they had the Mag there as well. They just didn't have the follow-up damage for it. But, well, this time around, they won't get their hands on it. Rattlesnake start with Shadow Demon Rubik. All right, not something we see often, but 2 strong initiators, supports as well. I mean, we could even see the solo mid Rubik potentially. Well, you've talked about this before. One of the nice things about Rubik is he's good against Nyx because you can lift him without actually doing any damage. Same with Disruption, at least at first. So you won't proc the Spike Carapace.
Yeah, and there's really no bad spells you could still. I mean, Spike Carapace is pretty bad if you want a little bit more offensive spell. And generally, very good Nyx Assassin players would never let you get anything else besides the Spike Carapace. But Rubik will be happy to get his his hands on basically everything. Again, I've seen this draft opening many times by Rattlesnake, Shadow Demon, and Rubik. I personally dislike it a little bit because I feel like your support heroes are definitely your most impactful heroes, at least in the first 10 to 15 minutes. And then kind of revealing your hand, playing all your cards right now, right in the beginning, kind of make you lack options. There are certain carries and certain lineup combinations where these 2 supports might not be the best supports. For example, if LG decides to go for a really early game push, maybe you want Keeper of Light instead, for example.
Yeah, there is a Keeper of the Light here, but you can't really pick him now, right? I mean, then you have 3 supports, you have no damage at all.
Right, that's what I mean. When you play 2 supports opening like this, it really forces your hand later on.
Yeah, I completely agree. And LGD, I think their draft is really strong this game. They get the Nyx, the Lone Druid, the Darkseer. 3 very hard to kill heroes for their own unique reasons, whether it's Surge, Spike Carapace, Vendetta, or just the natural tankiness of Lone Druid. These are probably their 3 cores, so they will need 2 supports, and the one downside is Rattlesnake can target ban those supports, plus they've already got 2 of the best in the business. But still, LGD, I think a very well-rounded lineup, and if they want to, they could even run the Nyx as a support, so we'll see what they go for. What do you think Rattlesnake is going to do? They're sort of the team that's... LGDN's much more straightforward, but Rattlesnake is really hard to predict.
Yeah, and I kind of like that about them. Because they're lycanthrope. LGD.inting themselves. Is that even a... No, it definitely isn't. But I wonder how is it going to be played. I mean, most of the time, lycanthrope's being played as a split pusher. You have your team engage in a big team fight elsewhere, and then lycan just goes into your lane. Lone Druid's actually going to defend fine against that, though. We'll see. I mean, he's not going to be too worried about Nyx Assassin or Darkseer because simply he's just so quick and so hard to bring down with nukes alone. But that Spare Bear is going to be a big annoyance factor. One thing that you do have against Spare Bear as a Lone Druid is you're going to be going for a very early Medallion Courage. And oftentimes that's exactly what you need to kind of bring down that big bear.
Yeah. Also, they are on the dire side, so they'll have the easy access to Roshan, so it's a better game to pick a hero like Lycanthrope. And he can split push well. LGD, they do have a Nyx Assassin. That's a nice hero to set up kills on him, but there are no follow-up stuns. And Rattlesnake now banning out all the pushing junglers, the Chen, the Misery heroes, basically, the Enchantress as well. And as far as supports go, the pool gets limited. LGD, they're expecting maybe a Kunkka pick. That will be banned out this time. And finally, a Keeper of the Light ban from Rattlesnake, who look like maybe it's going to be split push for them. Obviously, Keeper of the Light's annoying against a hero like Lycan, as he delays that push by quite a bit. What do you think Rattlesnake will go for the rest of the way? Anything unusual they might have planned?
I mean, again, they play such a wide hero pool. A Kunkka getting a deserved, I guess, a well-deserved respect ban. I don't know. I don't really want to predict Rattlesnake because they're so kind of off the wall with the heroes as well as the way they lane it. Could be pretty good. Meanwhile, though, they're a team that we're more familiar with. Juggernaut's still in the pool, or excuse me, Juggernaut's not in the pool, so take that back. I mean, where do they go here? Leshrac is going to be the pickup, but it's not going to be as nice as their Shadow Demon Leshrac combo. Meanwhile, Puck is the answer very quickly from Rattlesnake.
I love the Puck Lycan combo. Dream Coil is so good for letting him just sit there and chomp away at you. And it's got a fairly low cooldown as far as ultimates go, so it's something you can use in multiple clashes over the course of the game. Rattlesnake, they need probably even another solo at this point. Normally, you don't see a team in that position. Now, I have seen some teams experiment with Lycan in an odd way. LGD China in scrimmages has played him as just an offlaner, and you basically use the wolves to pull, but I don't think we'll see, sort of like a pseudo lone druid bear, but I don't think we'll see it this game, just because they don't really have any other damage, so probably look at a safe lane Lycan, a Puck mid, and then either some sort of dual roam or just a lot of pulling from Shadow Demon Rubik and then someone else for the offlane. Maybe they even, I don't know if they can't really aggressive tri-lane, right? Because it's a lycanthrope, so he's not going to fare too well against Darkseer 1v1.
His damage output, especially with Wolves, is okay. The issue is that he doesn't deal his damage quick enough, which is what you would need in a tri-lane. So I think if they want to go offensive tri-lane, the last hero has to do it. And I mean, Lycan as a safe lane top solo, that's definitely fine. Gyrocopter is going to be the pickup here as the...
I really like this draft from LGD.
Carry, right? Really? Why?
It's just it's just such a strong lineup in the laning stage, and they have tons of counter push. They've got lots of lockdown for the Lycan now with the Split Earth plus the Impale plus the Carapace plus Entangle and Vacuum. It doesn't sound, they don't have a big RP, but they have lots of spammable stuns over the course of the fight. They also have tons of burst damage, and Rattlesnake go PL. So well, this throws a wrench into everything, but. Yeah, they go for late game. They start with 2 supports. They end with probably the 2 hardest carries in the game, the PL and the Lycan.
PL definitely. I'm not sure about Lycan, but actually they work very well together because A, they're both good split pushers, so it's going to be hard to defend against both of them, especially on different sides of the map. Secondly, Lycan's one of those heroes that fights in your face, and every time he can, he will fight at your face, and that's not exactly something that Phantom Lancer excels in. So yeah, I think they make a good pair, and generally, when Nyx Assassin is being played on the LGD.int side, G is going to be playing it as a mid, but I feel like they need a big gyro this game, both for his early game and late game potential against the Phantom Lancer. So, not sure if Misery will be playing it as a carry role,
10 seconds remaining.
But I don't think it is.
I think it would be Brax probably, right? And then the Darkseer. Actually, yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, I'm leaning towards a support Nyx in a tri-lane and a Darkseer mid going for G. They still haven't selected their heroes. The creeps already spawned, and now we'll see right away who's going to be playing what. So it will be Misery. Support Nyx. I think that's what they have to do, though.
Yeah. Again, generally, they like to play the mix mid to kind of give him either a quick blink dagger, make G a very impactful player, and he is definitely an impactful player, but he's going to go solo mid Gyrocopter, first of many, or first of few, excuse me, in the Chinese scene.
Or maybe it's Pycat going mid. Maybe that Gyrocopter will be safe lane as G. Well, it looks like he might be going for the early Tranquil Boots. Courier has been picked up, but we'll introduce LGD International. They're down 0-1, or they're down 0-1 in the groups right now, but they're tied 1-1 in this best of 3. If they win this, they'll be 1-1 in the groups and right back in the mix. It's G on the Gyrocopter. It's going to be Pycat. Looks like he is going solo mid as the lone druid. We'll have Misery playing the support Nyx, 1437 on the support Leshrac. Off lane will be Brax as the Darkseer.
Meanwhile, here on the Rattlesnake side, Lamb played 2 really good Shadow Demon game. We'll be moving off to Rubik this particular game. IC will be playing Phantom Lancer. Meanwhile, Neo or Sag M is going to be playing Shadow Demon. Meanwhile, we're going to see Kabu Puck. I mean, we know he's good, right? Especially with the clock, and let's see how good he is with Puck. I feel like Puck's one of those heroes that you could really showcase, you know, how really great you are as a player. Meanwhile, finally, last but not least, Luo seems like he's going to be solo off lane with Lycan. I think he might just give up that lane and go jungle, though.
Yeah, he may just jungle. He's been pulled a little bit of regen. I remember when Lycan first got his nerfs, Puppy started experimenting with this, and if I recall correctly, it is possible to do the jungling, especially with pulls early on. Once the wolves get some levels, they can tank the creeps, but you really need to hit, say, level 5 before you're effective, and, well, he has been pulled a little bit, so we'll see if he can pull it off. I'm interested. I really want to keep a close eye on his jungling, because jungle Lycan, he's just not as effective as he used to be. Let's see if Luo can make it work.
And the reason that is not so is because the Wolves basically lost about half their HP at all levels, and it's going to make tanking the neutral creeps a lot more difficult. And because they're giving away the bot lane like this, the supports of LG could just roam top, G being left to basically free last hit every single lane. And Tri-Lane Darkseer, although not exactly the most lane that we see too often, look at, he's doing a lot of damage, baiting it out, 2-man Impale, no, just 1-man Impale. They're going to get that kill on Neo. And that That rally is just won right now by LGD.int.
They just have more stuns. They have more damage than Rattlesnake. They even have another 2-hero impale coming in a few seconds. He's gonna nail it. Drills them both. The Split Earth as well.
Oh!
Only catches Icy. Lamb barely gets away, but they still get Icy, and they may get 3 yet. One more hit. It's gonna be a wipe of the tri-lane going the way of LGD.int, and they all live as well. I thought they would have the edge of this tri-lane even before I mean, just looking at the heroes, they just have a lot more damage, but you don't expect a wipe at 1 minute into the game. Nobody can.
That was just such an intelligent play coming in from LG Brax. Darkseer ran in by himself, and normally as the true trialing support, you scoff at the solo hero running in. It's like, do you have a Death Wish? And Brax did a ton of damage with Iron Shell. Suddenly, 2 supports came out of nowhere, and that wasn't a 2-man impale, but they chased one after another. Iron Shell doing a ton of damage early on, and now what do you do as LG.int? You could leave Brax alone and do your smoke ganks mid or into the enemy jungle. These are basically free ganks at this point. Darkseer could definitely handle himself because of the level and go advantage. And of course, you're actually doing great on the mid lane because Puck doesn't actually outlane the Syllabare. Not in any kind of shape or form. So I think LG off to a beautiful start, and that's always the start they want.
I didn't think that Puck outlaned Lone Druid, yet Pycat is currently quite far behind in this lane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just look at the CS. He's 5-0. Kabu is 10-5.
I'm not sure how that's possible, especially when you have you have like 100 damage in between your bear and hero.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it will equalize, though. As they both level up, Pycat should have an easier time getting his own last hits, even if he can't stop the Puck from getting his. And LGD.int, they're really limiting what Icy's able to get in the lane. He's only 5-3. He's already got that death to his name. He's playing very defensively. The creeps being Iron Shell killed off, and they're putting pressure on this tower, too. We have a point in Edict. LGD.int, they're just going to park the tri-lane top. They're never going to let Icy get easy, safe farm. And even if they don't find kills, they're slowing him down while their Gyrocopter free farms bottom. And Pycat does reasonably well mid. And I will trade a free farm safe lane Gyrocopter for a jungle Lycan any day of the week because, I mean, even if Luo jungles perfectly, he's just not going to farm as much as that Gyro. Look at the net worth. They have similar CS, but it's a 300 gold lead already, and it's only going to get worse.
Luo going to be going for a bottle, something that we don't see too often out of jungle Lycans. Well, it's going to be okay, but that's going to delay his Vlads or Medallion, whatever the item is going to be. Meanwhile, back in the top lane, they can focus on Lamb. Lamb's going to make it there out alive. Generally, when you're playing this kind of trialing from Rattlesnake, you are not going to get too many kills aside from enemy being completely out of position. Brax feeling safe under the tower because Lift was just used. And of course, basically Rattlesnake says, all right, we're going to try to weather the storm and hopefully come back. The thing is, because of the advantage that the Radiant team has right now, it makes those early game tower pushes a lot easier. And they're going to try to snowball out of control.
And the thing is, you have a Lycan. So Lycan can't come and help the lane. All he could do is continue farming and hope that you hold on long enough that he comes out of the jungle in like 9-10 minutes. Around the 9-10 minute mark. Maybe even a tiny bit later since you did go for the bottle. Has his Vlads. Maybe goes Roche. They're looking for a backstab now. Misery will be forced back for the moment. But he draws the creeps. Brack's going to tank those ones up. And the thing for Rattlesnake is they can't actually kill anyone. They just don't have damage. I mean, it's what we talked about with Rubik Shadow Demon. We're seeing a Surgeon now onto Sag. He will get disrupted, and that'll be it. A lot of other tri-lanes, if they caught him there with that disruption, they Light Strike Array or Split Earth him, and Misery maybe dies, but he's not even scared.
Yeah, also for me right now, they need to put a little bit more detection here, and this is LG.int side. Maybe get a Dust, because I feel like right now Icy is so exposed by himself under a tower, they could easily dive him with detection, and nobody's fearing a Dust. The Chicken's coming. Is there going to be... No, just some upgrade of the Soul Ring, which is not bad, but I think right now...
Oh, no. Another Surgeon. This time the lift isn't there. The Impale to follow the Split Earth on top of it. Brax now setting himself up in position with the Ion Shell. The Illusions will block Lamb, but he's still alive. And actually Lycan gonna come in, chop up one. Kabu with the Haste Rune, looking for more. They might even get 2 kills. The Orb will fly. Misery jukes it like a boss, but the problem is gonna be, can he deny these creeps? Maybe he can. Oh, doesn't get the deny. Kabu will get the second kill. Well, they walked right into the waiting arms of Lycan, and he said, thank you for the snack. I was getting a little bit hungry.
Yeah, and also because Kabu came in with the haste rune, he's not going to miss too much EXP time, gets back in the mid lane just in time to defend and get some EXP out of that way. So very nicely done there. I'm actually questioning G's decision to actually not push the tower right now with Flak Cannon as well as Rocket Barrage. What he's afraid of is when he gets to the tower, the Lycan TPs in and get a ton of EXP. But also, he's not pressuring that tower, so he is getting free farm. There's a ping coming from Misery. He's like, you know what, push it. We are not winning the top lane as much as we can, and I feel like they need to get some gold. There's a Dust being used. They Impale on Icy, and I do believe Icy's dead. No! Impale misses from 1437. There is going to be a offensive disruption,
Another
and Icy
surge.
gets it out there alive.
Yeah, the light, I think he was just out of range to actually hit that one, and by the time he got in range and cast it, wasn't able to land it. If he was going to be able to hit it, it would have been just at max range, and runs a bit too close if that's the case. Not able to land the stun. Now the chase going the other way. Luo actually up to level 6 after getting that big kill, so pretty high in terms of levels. His gold isn't the best, but he's got the bottle, and they'll get an Impale and Lamb. The TP comes in from G, joins the fight. Kind of reminds you of that Luna for Pycat joining the fights when LG had first started, but a huge Pug Dream Coil. The silence as well, the orb on top of it. Both of these two solos are doing insane damage. It's a triple for 1437. It might be even more. That's 4 heroes dead. I think one of them so under-leveled. An ultra kill for 1437. It says 4 heroes died, but there's only 3. There's 3 alive, so they're all just respawning, like, instantly, I guess.
Yeah, Shadowman, I guess, just responded before the fight even was over. I think as soon as they saw the TP coming in from Gyrocopter, they should have backed off. Again, I guess really overcommitting to save their support, which is not bad, especially when you have a 4-man Dream Coil and a 4-man Silence. It's just they did not have the damage output to really finish the deal. Tier 1 tower on the top lane is going to get denied. Nicely played here by Lamb.
Wow.
8-3, and that one definitely helped, but they're really far behind. Look at the mid lane as Lone Druid gets that tower.
But meanwhile, Pycat, yeah, is going to get the tier 1 mid. The tier 1 was denied top, but LGD.int still in a commanding lead. Oh my goodness, a commanding lead or what? 6k gold lead, 3k experience lead, and we're 7 minutes in. That's going to be very hard to come back from. Pycat. Something on the courier for him. No, just a TP scroll. Is he going Roche? No. Just scouting the Roche pit for the moment. He already had his Orb of Venom, I believe, and yeah, he'll back off. He'll head towards bottom, and they can look to knock down that last tier 1, and the issue for Rattlesnakes is if they want to kill Brax top, they're going to have to invest a lot to do that. While they're doing that, Pycat pushes bottom with G, and LGD are going to get the trades, I feel, almost no matter what at this point.
Yeah, and this is one of the few times they are actually going to get Brax, because he's going to have mech very, very soon. He's actually getting a neutral Dream Coil in range. He's going to try to TP out. No way in hell he's going to actually make it out alive, and Brax is going to say, alright, you get a kill on me, which, you know...
But that was really smart, because now they don't have Dream Coil to defend bottom anyway.
Yep. I mean, I think even if they have Dream Coil, they can't defend that one.
That's true.
This is going to make it absolutely certain. LGN going to get another tower on top, and suddenly, if you're a G, I mean, 1400 gold, do you go for the Shadow Blade?
I think you go BKB. Just take the fight right to Rattlesnake. You could, with the BKB up on the Gyrocopter, they're not going to be able to stand at their tower. If you drop your cooldown, they have to run the hell away. And then once you get the full map control, then, I mean, then you could go for the Manta, you could go back for a Shadow Blade if you want, but a BKB early, there's just nothing for Rattlesnakes to do to deal with that. Sure, they have Lycan, but he's not running into all that nuke damage, not until he has a BKB of his own, and they get the tier 2 bottom. That's 4 towers in 8.5 minutes. I wonder, I guess they'll have to defend top for the moment, but it wouldn't surprise me if LG didn't go for a Roche of their own sometime in the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, the fact that there is a Lycan on the Dire side, it makes you, question whether you could freely walk into other lane. You can see a Lewis trying his best to split push up top, but immediately gets thwarted by the Darkseer coming in. He's got his bottle still, but he just have no gold. If he wants his Vlads, he'll have it in like 700 gold, but they're paying the tier 2. They're gonna get tier 2, and I think Lua might just get caught on the crossfire of everything. He does have, no, he doesn't even have Shapeshift on cooldown.
Oh no, it's got a long cooldown at level 1. It's 100 seconds, and he'll even start eating Ion Shell damage. He's going to react a little bit slow to this, and the backstab will come. Even if Puck TP's in, it looks like Lua will die. The question is, will they punish this? They will. Easily brought down. Nice little pick off from LGD. And now, wow, he buys back. I don't think they can fight. I really don't think they can. We'll see. They feel desperate.
Yeah, this is seems like a very, very desperate buyback. I mean, if losing another tower when you have, oh, it looks like they're going to engage on Lamb. Lamb just melts. Well, there goes your buyback. They're not going to defend this without 5. And
yeah, he bought back and he went bottom to push. Maybe he was thinking he could go Roche, but he doesn't have a Vlad, so there's really no way for him to even do that. And yeah, this tower is just going to melt for free, and now it's up to 8k gold lead. It's up to 2k experience lead. LGD really in firm control of the game at this point, and it would take a pretty big mistake for them. And we won't see it yet. Tower will go down. This one not going to be denied by that pesky Rube because he isn't here. And now that Misery's level 6, there's 5 towers down. Good luck leaving your base if you're any of these heroes. I mean, even a hero like Phantom Lancer or Puck can be killed off by a Nyx +1.
Yeah, Luo buyback. I think what he wanted was a tier 1 trade. His teammates trying their best to hold that push up top. In the meantime, at least get a trade out of that one. But because the tower dies so fast, Misery being able to TP and defend that one just with his presence, and he's going to get some free last hits under the tower there as well. So game looking really, really bad from Rattlesnake. I don't feel like they have the team to come back in the mid game either. It really takes a very, very farm Lycan to do that. And of course, you know, Phantom Lancer is going to basically not add anything to kind of teamfight or pushes until he finishes treads and drums.
Yeah, Luo, well, he was farming the enemy jungle during that time. He was even afraid to be at the tower, which just goes to show you how strong LGD.int's gank presence is. And with Nyx, Lycan can't rely on Shapeshift to run away, as we'll see Misery charge up into the middle of the river. The BKB coming soon on G, and they're saying, let's just go Rosh now. Rattlesnake can't fight in the pit, or nope, maybe just scouting it.
Making sure Lycan is not sneaking one up on them. I guess if Rattlesnake wants to come back, sneaking a Roshan is always a very good way to do it. But like you said, no Vlads, no Medallion. Dude's poor. He has to buy back and try to pressure.
And I think the bottle is the right choice when you're jungle Lycan. The issue is that now all the towers are down, so he can't farm his jungle, and he's only got a bottle and a Facilius.
Oh, Lamb's dead. Lamb's so dead. He gets impaled. Any follow up here? Here comes G. Damage being... Oh, nice Dream Coil being dropped, but just to delay the inevitable, I want to say.
And now the Dream Coil is down. Every time this is down, LGDN can get more aggressive. Maybe they even just go Rosh now.
Yeah.
You are looking at a tier 1 possibly falling top and bottom. No, they don't want to give up any of their towers, it looks like. They'd rather defend them than go for Rosh, and they'll push those lanes out. Then I think they get their next set of items, they get some wards up, they go Rosh, and then they probably just look to end the game. I mean, because if Rattlesnakes get to farm for 5-10 minutes, then there is a chance of a better chance of a comeback. Maybe the Blink Dagger or Kabu's up. But if you just get those core items, get the Aegis, and go, it's going to be hard for Rattlesnakes to stop the push. They don't really have direct counter push, Lumi. All they have is split push, and it's not even that fast yet.
And this is what I mean by picking up Shadow Demon and Rubik up top.
Oh no.
What?
Luo's going Rosh. He's trying to sneak it, and he might get it too.
Oh, okay, well, I mean, the Vlad pickup out of nowhere. Yeah, he is gonna get it. This is pretty nice, although he's not doing it quickly enough. And that RGN on Rosh, they changed it to pseudo-random, and that I think after changing it to pseudo-random, I have never seen Roshan bash as much as he's used right now. Like, it actually it's actually really difficult to get those Roshan off.
It's supposed to prevent chain bashing or just chain missing, but... yeah, I mean, it's still pseudo-random. There is an element of randomness, and Brax is going to come in. It was just a little bit too slow. If they had the Medallion, which a Lycan usually would with just the old jungle Lycan, I mean, he'd have more than a Medallion. He'd already have the Aegis by this point, but without the Medallion, can't get the Rosh kill, and now it's just going to be a free one for LGDN.
Well, I'm not sure if it's going to be free. I think Diary's going to fight over this one, but if they lose this fight, I think they lose the game.
There's a BKB on G. You're not risking it here. I mean, it sucks, but you just got to give it up.
Yeah, Dust being popped.
Oh, the wolves. Wow, that's so smart. That would have been a huge play, and we've actually seen Lycan players do that before in competitive matches. Snipe the Aegis, or even the Rosh last hit with the wolves. Ain't happening. Dust is deployed. Rosh will take a fall, and LGD, they get their hands on it. It goes to G, and I think they just push now.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for the free Aegis. I have BKB and Aegis on Gyrocopter. These team fights might last long enough if Rattlesnake plays well for 2 calldowns, which is definitely not what they want, but you know, what choice do they have? I do like Shadow Demon going for 3 levels on Poison Stack instead of the standard Soul Catcher, because they just need every bit of counter push.
They have, look at the items on LGD, every single item is to win the game right now. That's what they're all about with these items. The mech, not unusual by any means, but even things like power treads on the Lone Druid Bear, just to give it a little extra attack speed so it can bring down that tower faster. It's not normally an item you would get if you're just playing for mid-game or late game, but getting it now, it'll help them push. They actually are forced back, so Rattlesnakes, they stall it out. But can they stall it out long enough? That's really going to be the tale of the next 10 to 15 minutes, if it goes that long.
Yeah, I mean, they're stalling out, but let's see what item they're going to get. I mean, because the Radiant team, like you said, is getting items to win now, Rattlesnake will be forced to get those similar items. So we're looking at Icy finishing his drums, which can have an impact in the next team fight. We're looking at Lycan most likely finishing his Medallion, which is going to increase the defense power, especially when you pop it on the Lone Druid Bear. And Kabu, I mean, when you go with Strange Dress and Double Brace, the game's not going well, but I imagine it's working on Blink next.
Yeah, this is not the item selection you want on Puck. On Puck, you want that early null talisman. If you're doing well, just dominate the last hits in lane, and then go into a Blink Dagger right away. Kabu, he actually played well. I mean, he was 10-5 when the Lone Druid was 5-0, but it's just been the relentless pressure. And the way this game is developed, it started with the triple kill top, and then it was G rotating into the lane, getting an additional ultra kill. And that's pretty much been the majority of the kills this game. It's just those 2 big fights. And off the back of that, look at what LGD have claimed for themselves. A 12k gold lead, only a 3k experience lead. But I think with this big set of items, they'll have enough. It's just a matter of finding the opening, they want to push. It's clear they want to, but they're just waiting for the opportunity where the lanes are pushed out enough where they feel like, all right, we can trade. Maybe we lose a tier 1, but we're going to get Rex, or at least do a ton of damage to a tier 3 and a Rex for it.
Yeah, this is where, again, the split pushing power of both Lycan and Phantom Lancer is, you know, paying dividends. They're pushing, but it's so slow because they have to TP back in the mid lane. Looks like Luo might get caught out, but he should be fine because he has the ultimate form.
I don't know. There's your Impale. Oh, just catches him, but yeah, he'll be fine. He gets it off.
I think they weigh out the duration and then go for a mid push.
Yeah, no Lycan ult. It's actually an important team fight ultimate for them. As weird as it sounds, it's not. Sure, it's got no crowd control, but this hero can hurt when he's in ult form, and when in walking in non-wolf form, he's not very scary.
Yeah, I mean, at the worst, you could actually chase out and disrupt the support spellcasting abilities. But now, yeah, the wolf form's out. They're gonna just go right in.
And the Flat Cannon working away, attacking that tower, splashing it through. Flat Cannon will be stolen by a Rubik, but that's a puny auto attack to match against the might of a Gyrocopter with any items. And now the Lone Druid Bear continuing to chop away at it. The tower's dropping low. Once this falls, Rattlesnake are in a world of trouble. I feel like the tower is their primary source of damage. The Bear might need to be resummoned. The tower will go down. Now eats a lance to the face. Can be resummoned. Pycat, I think, will do so at this very moment. He hasn't done so yet. Now he'll throw out the resummon. I think wanted to make sure they had the position. They're going to take the lane of Rex. There's no trade in sight for Rattlesnake. This looks like big, big trouble for them. A lance being thrown in on the creeps. The Drax, will it take a fall? They've already gotten the melee. They want the ranged as well. You know you're ahead when you just casually sit there to get the ranged Rex when they have 5 heroes alive. Most teams would be content to back off, but LGD.int, they know they can get away with this, and they go right mid. Dream Coil here.
Oh, looks like they're going to take that fight as one person TP's out. We're going to see Lycan trying to teleport back. He's running back just yet, but they might have a Dream Coil, but just have no damage. So, well, can't even do anything. Meanwhile, Ludo's got to be very careful as he's running up north, but here comes Misery. He has the gem there as well. Look at that Vid booster first, just 1 HP. Like you said, they want to win the game now. They find Luo. They're waiting for anybody else to show up, and they're going to get that kill. Oh, Luo lows as well. He's not going to get the last hit. There's going to be a hit, and Luo's going to get Spliff on top as well. Where's the damage follow-up? It's just a 2 support, but enough to actually bait out the ultimate and force him to run.
And I think they just go mid. You know, you got one lane of Rex, now Shapeshift's down again. You could go mid. Maybe they want to get the lanes pushed out. They don't even want to give up a single tier 1. Just look, every time they see a lane go past the river, they ping it and one of the carries will back off. But now that they have one lane of Rex, they can be more patient because the lanes will constantly be pushing in on the bottom side of the map. And I think we see something purchased by G. Is it a Yasha? I imagine it is. Indeed it is. And the Vlads, the customary Vlads for Pycat. And it's just LGD in style. You get ahead early, you win the game before there's any chance for your opponents to come back. It's the Boa Constrictor. And if it starts off strangling you, good luck removing it.
Yeah, also, G is the Gyrocopter. Oh, looks like he's running right back in. I mean, he's got BKB, he's got Aegis, he doesn't care. Gyrocopter's putting his best Luna impression as Kabu. Gonna face, the Rocket's gonna kill him now. Look at him, he's just tanking the tier 4, trying to get that kill on Lamb. But he's buying a lot of time for his carries. He might actually die a second time here. Pops a BKB, where's the Purge? No Purge already being used. Down to half HP, but
while that was happening, Lycan just charged into the middle of 5 heroes, doing anything he can, throwing his body into the line of fire, but could not stop the push, and now they get 2 lanes of Rex.
I feel like Rattlesnake didn't even have the chance to play Dota this game. They just kind of that first blood into a triple kill, and then the ultra kill from, I think, 1437, that was it? Like, the game was just done at that point, and
it was a weird draft, man. They started with Shadow Demon Rubik. You don't see that very often.
Right, again, they're not bad heroes by any means. In fact, they're probably considered as, 2 of the 4 best supports. It's just the way that you draft them kind of leaves you open to a lot of things.
I mean, give LGD all the credit in the world. They played a hell of a game, and, they were on the ropes here in Game 3. If they lost this, they're not guaranteed to be eliminated, but it would be really hard for them to advance, as they'd have to win their 3rd game, and then potentially, even then would be the 3rd place team in the group at best, most likely. We'll see a GG from Rattlesnake. So LGD International, they dodge a bullet here. They take Game 3, and they will be now 1-1 in the group, tied up with Rattlesnake. And suddenly, Group A is kind of back to what we thought it would be, which is 3-4 teams that really all have a shot to take the group. Rattlesnake, LGD.int, LGD China, as well as, oh, who's the last one? Orange, that I'm forgetting. I feel like all of these teams are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, I agree so as well. I think LG China showcasing the fact that they are not rusting, despite last time when we casted LG.int versus LG China. Rattlesnake, I just want to call them unlucky, but I'm a little bit biased because I love their playstyle, I love their hero picks, but Again, credit to LGD. They won a best of 3, and they did it splendidly as well. So
I think it's just sort of like sometimes you can be too experimental for your own good. Like Rattlesnakes, yes, you know, some of their picks and their styles are a bit unorthodox, but they're very pressure-oriented lineups. Like we saw the Clockwork Darkseer dual lane. It sounds weird, but it actually is strong in the laning phase. If you pick weak lanes against LGD International, that's their bread and butter, and that's what they got this game, and they really punished it.
Definitely.
So with all that being said, guys, that will wrap it up for this match. We're done for today for the G1 League. We will come back tomorrow with more group stage action. For now, this is going to wrap it up. We will have We Play Dota 2 League action just after this, so if you want your Dota fix for North America, for Europe, stay tuned. We will be restarting the stream and then bringing it back up. Or actually, no, sorry, I don't need to. So we'll be just jumping right into the next game. That will be coming up right after this. But for now, the G1 League action is concluded for today. Congratulations to LGD International. They will be 1-1 in the group. I'm LD. He's Luminous. We'll be back in just a little bit with We Play Dota 2 League action. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you there.